Guys, so welcome back to Girl Get Visible. We are here to talk about tech stacks and workflows today. Late last year, I shared a few posts on my Facebook page that were sharing the different tech tools that I would use if I was doing whatever type of business. So we're today going to talk about for content creators. I did one for coaches and consultants, speakers, podcasters, but every type of business needs slightly different. Sometimes they overlap, but need slightly different tools. And so I created these specific tech stacks for each of the tools. And one of the things that I got, of course, the questions was, well, how do I use them? When do I need this versus needing that? And, how do I bring this all together? Really have the back end of my business flow like a well-oiled machine. And so I decided to do videos to go with those tech stacks to explain exactly what tools you should use, where you should use them, and how you should bring it all together to, again, make that business flow like that well-oiled machine. So today we're going to be talking about content creator, tech stacks, and workflows. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Akila Thompkins-Robinson. You are here at the Girl Get Visible channel, and I help you find the tech solutions to enable your business and marketing strategies. And today, tech stacks is what we are talking about. So first, before we jump into a tech stack, let's talk about what do you need to know in order to figure out if you're using the right one. Most important thing, you want to know what you're doing and what you're selling. We're talking about content creators today. So for the most part, I'm going to talk about just those who want to make money from their direct content. If you have a digital product, which is how I recommend also making some money off your direct product, but if you have a digital product or affiliate marketing, this will help. But I'm also going to do a separate video just for digital marketing, and I'll do one for affiliates as well, because there's a little bit of different tracking we do if we're doing content creation for affiliate marketing purposes. So this will give you most of what you need, but when you get into that delivery where you're getting paid system, it's going to be a little bit different because content creators don't have that traditional talking to person people one-on-one sales, but sometimes, like if you're doing UGC, you might. So we'll talk about all that here. Right. The other thing to really nail down before you get into your tech stack is making sure that you're covering all four areas. So I'm going to give you the four areas here. You want to make sure you have tools for marketing, that is the creation of marketing content and the distribution, scheduling, and all that stuff of marketing content. So we tend to have a lot of different tools in our marketing band. Then we want to talk about sales. Now, again, for content creators, this is different because if you are someone who's just getting paid from the platforms, then you don't have to worry about sales so much. You just got to sign up and make sure you're keeping up that volume to get whatever payment from the different tools. If you're working into UGC, I'll talk a little bit about some things that you would maybe want to put in place to keep track of UGC contracts, keep track of make sure you're getting all the deliverables, if you're after pitching for UGC. So I'm going to show you a tool that's going to help you with that as well. Then the delivery, whether you're doing your own content for the platforms, UGC, or selling your own products, you always need a delivery system. How exactly is this going to get to the person at the end of the road? If you're just doing doing content for the platforms, your delivery is pretty much minimal. Look, you can post it, you got it, right? You delivered what you need to deliver on, and the back end would determine, like, if you're doing TikTok shop and that kind of stuff, right? If you are doing more UGC, you want to make sure not only are you posting the content, but you're following up and sending this is done and whatever the deliverables are, if they need stats or any type of analytics from your posts, all that type of stuff, that would be part of your delivery system, how you're delivering it to the client. And then if you're doing digital products, of course, you need a platform for people to be able to download their things, right? Buy and download their things. So you actually make sure you have sales and delivery right there. And then the back end tracking. This is the part that a lot of people do not think about, especially if they're small businesses or just getting started in business. They jump right into marketing it, making sure they can sell it. Hopefully they got a delivery system, but they're not really tracking what's going on in the back end. They're not really keeping track of their own business processes. If they're bringing in teams, they're not keeping track of what team is working on what and what's happening. And that's where we get into your pipeline is pretty much running dry, or there's problems or delays in the pipeline because they don't really have that back end and tracking flow. So those are the four areas that you want to make sure you have a tool in that is going to help your business, like I said, flow like that well-oiled machine. So let's start at the top with what tools we're going to fill in here in these texts. So I've got a couple of tools over here that I recommend. So we're going to start with Canva. Everybody knows Canva for the marketing materials. You can create videos in Canva, graphics in Canva, worksheets in Canva. Like there's so much you can do in Canva. Yes, there are other tools, but literally if you got Canva, you got almost everything you need, right? Another tool that I like that Canva doesn't do so well is Opus Clips. I do a lot of my marketing is video, as you guys are watching here. And the video content is what I do is long form and then break it up into smaller chunks. And Opus Clip is amazing for breaking it up into those smaller chunks, gives you what they call the viral video, stop it hooks and things like that. So it does a lot of good things, right? So Opus Clips is my go-to for that. For my AI content, so I don't only create content for my channel, we have other channels. So I like to make sure I bring this up, especially for those who either want to do faceless or some other way. I have a couple of different tools I use here, but right now I'm loving Hypernatural, using that for making those AI videos of various different types of video content. You can also make some videos right in Canva. We do some of our faceless right there in Canva. So don't think if you don't have Hypernatural, you can't do faceless. You can absolutely start just using Canva. A few more steps, but you can get started using Canva. So those are our tools we use for creation. Next to the tools that I use for scheduling. So I'm going to just bring Metricool over here. Once it's created, it's got to get out to those platforms and schedule it throughout my marketing process. And so that's where I use Metricool. Metricool is really dope because you can connect it to all the platforms, the Facebook, the IGs, the TikToks, the LinkedIn's, all the tools, and then you can schedule and pick and choose what's going to go where, when you actually want it to post. It is really, really good analytics. So you can see how things are performing. And I recently it's been there a while, but I didn't seem to see it before. But I found out that they have a link tree style page where you can do like your link in bio, all the links in one place, and then they'll do some tracking there so you can see how many people not just going to the page, but also how many people are actually going to your links and experiencing the things that you have in your content. So that is a really nice add-on, and I'm glad I found it and I can now share it with you guys. Right. One other thing I'm going to put here in the marketing is SynFox. SynFox is what I use for email marketing right now. It's a very simplistic email marketing tool. Lets you can do some opt-ins, so you can have people actually opt in on landing pages. Lets you do segmented lists, which is what's really important to me. Some basic automation. So after they opt in or after you add them to a list, they'll get a series of emails based on some different interactions. So it is really good if you're not ready for something big like an active campaign or a kit, which I'm going to tell you most people don't even need, right? But if you're not ready for something like that, SynFox is a really good alternative. It's a tool by AppSumo. All the links for these tools will be down in the description, so don't worry if you don't have them or don't remember them offhand, right? So SynFox is that one. I'm also going to, as we move on down to the next one, put SynFox in my sales process too, right? Because SynFox is also what I use to send out emails for my entire list to like let them know about products, let them know about things. But even once people buy and once people like get in, like if they click on a certain link, they'll go into getting a series of sales emails. If I'm doing any type of launch strategy, like a challenge launch or a workshop or anything like that, I'm sending out those emails using SynFox. I'm going to put SynFox in my sales category. Now, the rest of the things for sales category really depends as a content creator how you're making money, because if you are doing something like just the platforms, you don't necessarily need anything else for sales. If you are doing anything like UGC, you've got two people, right? You got your clients, you got the clients who you're doing UGC for, and then sometimes you also are trying to get like affiliate sales or something from that UGC. So you may have the customers who are actually watching and paying attention to that type of stuff. And for that type, if I wanted to do something like that, I would use Flowloop, which is another tool we'll talk about as we head on down to our delivery system. So Flowlo is a really good all-in-one tool. If you saw some of the other videos, I recommend an all-in-one tool for coaches and consultants called Sweet Dash. For content creators, though, and this is what my team mostly uses Flowlo because our main thing is creating content. One of the things I love about Flowlo is that in the difference between the two is that in addition to just having a regular project management system where it's the end and the beginning, like project starts, project ends, right? With content creators, we tend to have things that are more iterative and going all the time because like for your pages, if you're building up a page, you're constantly putting in new content and adding new things. For that type of work, I use one or two tools. I use either Flowloo, or for some of my clients, we get a content hub, right? And what this is not just when you create the product, it's not just saying this is, I mean, create the content. It's not just saying this is the content I want to create. This is a tool you're going to have that list of, these are all the different types of posts that I need to do for this week, right? And then it leads to our calendar of, now we set a date for when they're going to post, and I can see everything that is going to post throughout the different days of the week and what's going to happen what. As we're going through this creation process using these tools up here, we used Flowloo or the Content Hub. We use one of these type of tools to help to guide you through that actual process, like who's coming up with the idea, who's doing the research, who's now creating the piece of content, who's putting it in our scheduler, and then who's making it move to the next place. Which, speaking of schedulers, that's where we would use our Metricool. So we actually use Metricool in our delivery system as well, because for us, content marketing, this piece right here is also part of our delivery. So we'll also use Metricool for that, and Metricool for those backend analytics. A lot of times clients want analytics on their post, and so we'll use Metricool to pull some of those and to look at it for ourselves. Then the last system that I'm going to talk to you about would be your back end tracking. And for this, I'm going to make a little duplicate here. Don't we love this whiteboard, right? This we're gonna make just a duplicate there of the backend tracking being in Flowloo. Because Flowloo is a full business management system and is really amazing, you can not only track where all your different pieces of content are, you can create larger projects. So you can have a project where, let's say I'm doing videos for L'Oreal, right? If I'm doing a UGC campaign for L'Oreal, I'll put a project that this is, when we're starting, this is their due date, some big things on their task, and this is the deliverables, and so I have some tasks to make sure we deliver those deliverables. Then we'll go into what they call agile projects, which is where we set up our actual content calendar stuff. We'll go in there, and there we'll have let's say it's 5 pieces of content. Each of those 5 will be listed there, and they'll go through the process of our researching, of our creation, of our scheduling, and then doing the analytics at the end. All of that is being managed in Flowloo. In addition to that, I can also add in my team into Flowloo. And so I'm not the one that needs to create every piece of content. I don't schedule every piece of content. A lot of times I have the team schedule this or the team create that. And so I can assign things and everything like that in this tool. And then the other really good thing I like about this is that they also have the ability for chat and for customer portal. So I don't give too many people access to see like their UGC projects or campaigns. But if you want to offer a service in that way where you're letting people see whatever their campaigns are, this is also good for my service product, my service delivery folks. If you want to let people see, well, these are the posts that are coming up, that kind of thing, you can either use Metricool, because they do actually have that capability, or you can use something like a Flowloo, which gives you the ability to create a client portal where they can see just their things that are in the pipeline, what's happening, and you can have a text messaging or chat messaging they have in there where you can converse about the project. So that is it for my tech stack for content creators. You don't need a lot of different tools. You just need some tools that are going to do the right things. You can see there's a lot of overlap here, where one Flowloo is going to help you with actually can help you with your sales too, but if we needed sales pages or something like that, but it can help you with your sales, your delivery, and your back end training. Something like a Metricool is going to help with your marketing and your delivery of that. It can also do some back end stuff too, because again, you can have people look at whatever their content calendar is coming up in Metricool as well. So a lot of really great tools that you can use to put together your content creator tech stack. If you love these, if you're thinking, I want one for my business type, I need to know what I should do for what I have, and it's not one that we've already covered, drop the comment on down whatever your business is and whatever you'd like to see me do a tech stack in, and I will create more videos like this. All right. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.